Somehow, as human beings, we have this built-in dissatisfaction with what we have and what we own. We always want more. We always try to get more money, more power, more comfort. And unless we learn how to moderate these insatiable demands that we have built into our nervous system by the genes, unless we learn how to enjoy the moment as it goes by, unless we enjoy the passage of time, the activities we do as they occur instead of always wishing for more, we are going to be disillusioned and disappointed at the end of life. Therefore, the kind of happiness I'm talking about is the happiness that comes not from owning things, not from trying to achieve things in the future, but the happiness that comes from the everyday activities we do, the happiness that comes from relishing the moment, from enjoying our interaction with the environment, with people around us, with the kind of tasks that we are attempting to do.
If you watch yourself for a week, you'll see certain things. You'll see some of the time that you're resentful and annoying. And those are times when you're either taking advantage of yourself or you're thinking improperly. Some of the time you'll be bored, in which case you're either undisciplined or you're probably pursuing something you don't want to pursue. And some of the time you'll actually be engaged in life. And the times that you're engaged in life, you won't notice that you're there, right? The distinction between subject and object disappears when you're engaged in something that you find meaningful.
Feeling of complete involvement with what you're doing, that comes when you are paying attention to a goal, when you are reading the feedback that you get from the goal. For instance, a tennis player who is so attentive to every strike of the racket and who is paying attention to how the opponent returns the ball. This concentration on what goes on in the moment is the experience of flow that I have been studying.
The purpose of life, as far as I can tell from studying mythology and from studying psychology for decades, is to find a mode of being that's so meaningful that the fact that life is suffering is no longer relevant. Or maybe that it's even acceptable.
The reason why flow is a source of enrichment in your life is that it helps you to organize, to synthesize, to harmonize the elements of your life, both your time alone and time with friends, time with family, time at work, so that all of it supports each other, so that you don't feel kind of torn and conflicting, but you feel that you are working on all cylinders. Everything is aimed at the same purpose and the same meaning. And that way, the entirety of a person's life can become a flow experience.
Life can be meaningful enough to justify its suffering. And I thought, God, that's such a good idea. Because it's not optimistic exactly. You know, some people will tell you, well, you can be happy. It's like, those people are idiots. I'm telling you, they're idiots. There's going to be things that come along that flatten you so hard you won't believe it. And you're not happy then. And so if life is to be happy, well, in those situations, what are you doing? Why even live? But life isn't to be happy. If you're happy, you're bloody fortunate, and you should enjoy it. You should, because it's the grace of God, so to speak. With regards to meaning, I thought, well, people know when they're doing something meaningful. They can tell, so why the hell don't they do meaningful things all the time? It seems obvious. You could do it. I mean, it's hard, you know, because other people want you to do other things, and it's a struggle, but everything's a struggle. And then I thought, well, oh, I get it. I see why. It took me about 10 years to figure this out. People have a choice. Choice number one, nothing you do means anything. Well, that's kind of a drag, right? It's the meaninglessness of life and all that existential angst. You know, that's kind of a pain. But the upside of nothing that you do is meaningful is you don't have to do anything. You've got no responsibility. Now, you have to suffer because things are meaningless, but that's a small price to pay for being able to be completely useless. The alternative is everything you do matters. Really. If you make a mistake, it's a real mistake. If you betray someone, you tilt the world a little more sharply towards evil rather than good. It matters what you do. Well, if you buy that, then you can have a meaningful life. But There's no mucking around. It means responsibility. It means that the decisions you make are important. It means that when you do something wrong, it's wrong. Well, do you want that? If you walk into your study and you have a stack of papers in the midst of which is buried your homework, you'll notice that you have a very tough time looking at that stack of papers. And the reason for that is that the stack of papers that you're ignoring, that's aging and causing you more trouble with each passing day, is a porthole into order through which chaos is flowing. And if you ignore that long enough, the chaos will flow through that portal and take over your room and then take over your life. And you might think, well, that's a very strange way of looking at things. And I suppose it is. But just as an experiment to see whether or not this is true, try not paying your taxes for 10 years and see what happens.
But the wisdom of this simple act has been proven to me many times over. If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed.
Flow, it makes everyday activities that otherwise would be a chore or a source of conflict or misery more enjoyable, so that even the things that we don't want to or don't like to do in everyday life can be improved and made more enjoyable.
Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right.
Like, you can find all sorts of undergraduates who are perfectly willing to restructure the international economic system, who cannot keep their room clean.
So if you want to change the world, start off by making your bed.
Because, science tells us that we're the products of a cosmic accident. We're at the edge of an ordinary galaxy in an ordinary star system, and we're damn lucky to be here, and that's it. That's our place, a very existential notion of our place in the cosmos. But if you take this other point of view, that process is under the influence of an attractor, and that the value the attractor is maximizing is novelty, then suddenly, for the first time in 500 years, human beings are moved back to the center of the stage. We are the most novel thing on this planet. We are everything biology is, plus technology, language, politics, philosophy, art, so forth and so on. So suddenly human beings become important, not mere cosmic witnesses to a meaningless cosmos, but the cutting edge of a cosmos that glories in order and is moving toward higher states of order. And at the present moment, we are the carriers.